Serinuma is a fatso BL lover who enjoys shipping her classmates and living her life in Delulu land. Her favorite character ends up dying, due to which she goes into depression and returns to school after losing a lot of weight. Everybody used to ignore her, but now all the hottie boys seem head over heels for her. She keeps shipping them with one another, but they start pursuing her one by one. However, before any of this, Kei has a sports period in which she watches as two hotties Igarashi and Nana play volleyball on the court and high-five one another after scoring a goal. She starts fantasizing about how they both need to end up together, and she is completely into her Delulu land. Meanwhile, Nana tries to catch a ball on the court and runs into her out of nowhere. He accidentally pushes her to the ground and she passes out while dreaming about his love with Igarashi. She later wakes up in an infirmary where her friend Amain asks her whether she is alright, and they both start discussing the potential pairs in their class. Kei is actually a diehard fujoshi who likes pairing up and shipping hotties around her. She has nothing better to do but ship hot boys that she sees in real life, and even now she discusses with her friend Amain who should end up with whom and which two boys make the best pairing. A first-year student Hayato arrives with a sick student and asks her to clear the bed if she is feeling well now, so she starts to leave. They hear Hayato mutter that she looked completely alright due to her obese weight, but Kei just ignores his comment. She even tells Amain that she and Hayato are in a health committee, due to which he knows her. They both run into another hottie called Mutsumi who asks her what happened to her face, so she explains to him that she fell during P.E and he asks her to take care. Amain points out that she seems to have a weird connection with all the hotties of the school, and they both reach their classroom where Igarashi asks her whether she is alright. She tells him that she is alright, and Igarashi asks his friend Nana to apologize to her since it was his fault after all. He casually apologizes to her and comments that he managed to not injure himself because she acted as a human cushion. The whole class laughs at his joke and Igarashi scolds him for making such a lame joke. They both walk away and Amain mentions that Nana doesn't even have basic manners. Kei, however, is in her own Delulu world where she thinks that Igarashi and Nana both suit each other well, especially since Nana apologized to her on Igarashi's request even though he didn't want to. Amain tells her to at least act a little bothered, and she thinks about how she is satisfied with the world of shipping hotties and that she doesn't want any part in it herself. Later, she and Amain walk home and discuss that their favorite show Mirage Saga's special episode is coming, in which their favorite character Cheyenne has a big part to play. She cannot contain herself and she rushes home to watch Mirage Saga's latest episode. She keeps tweeting her thoughts as she is watching the episode, but she gets the shock of her life when Cheyenne ends up dying in the episode. She even screams out loud as if she is dying, and over the next coming days, she shuts herself inside her room. Amain worries for her since she hasn't tweeted anything either, and her mom asks her to at least eat some food. Her mom tells her brother Takuro to convince Kei to at least eat something, so Takuro barges inside her room and yells at her to leave her rotting bed. He pulls away her blanket and she also decides to at least wash her hair. She leaves her bed and walks over to the washroom while her family remains in shock by her latest appearance. She then sees her changed appearance in the mirror and realizes that she has lost a lot of weight while she was cooped up in her room. Later she heads to her school and everyone keeps staring at her. She enters her class and people stare at her, which makes her wonder if something is wrong with her since she even fitted her clothes. She rushes to Amain's side and apologizes to her for not contacting her since her phone was broken, and Amain realizes that it's actually Kei talking to her based on her voice. The others cannot believe that a fatso cow like Kei looks so good now, and they start to surround her, which makes her very nervous. Igarashi pulls her out of the crowd and tells his classmates to relax a little. He even feels like Kei has gotten much hotter than before, and Nana rushes to her side. He reminds everyone to not forget that she used to be a big fatso, and Kei gets all tearful because his face reminds her of her favorite character who just died in the show. She runs away in tears and the others think that Nana made her cry, so they ask him to apologize to her. She ends up running into Hayato from the health committee and she apologizes to him profusely. She is about to run away when he stops her and takes her to the infirmary because of her scratched knees. They run into Mutsumi there, who recognizes her despite the weight loss, and she starts to treat his injuries. Hayato cannot believe that she is Kei, and Mutsumi tells her it's easy to recognize her based on her kindness. Later Igarashi asks her out on a date and Nana interrupts them. Hayato and Mutsumi also intervene and they all end up arguing with one another till Kei agrees to go on a date with all of them. She tells everything to Amain later, who is letting her borrow her clothes, and Amain advises her that only a man can heal her wounds, which the death of her favorite character Cheyenne gave her. Amain reveals that even her own boyfriend doesn't know about her weeb side, so she should also hide her otaku side as well. Kei then heads out on her group date and sees the four guys waiting for her. She starts fantasizing about them being a gay couple and they spot her. They all then head to watch a movie, and during the movies, Nana falls asleep on Igarashi's shoulder, which makes Kei's blood throb endlessly. After the movies, she sees Mutsumi offer Hayato some tissues for his flu, and once again her mind goes to the gutter as she starts imagining scenarios about them. She heads to the washroom, and when she comes out, Igarashi drags her to a photo booth to make some memories alone with her. She realizes with a shock that her heart is beating fast with him, but just then, Nana barges inside the photo booth while Igarashi tries to kick him outside. Kei ends up getting pictures which show Nana and Igarashi arguing, and she finds the pictures very hot. Later they all go to eat some food and then to karaoke to sing some songs where Kei tries her best to hide her otaku side even though she just wants to sing cringe anime songs. Afterwards she feels very drained and they pass by a store which is selling limited edition Mirage Saga merchandise. She tries to control her dirty desires, but the shopkeeper then announces that only one item is left, so she rushes inside the store. She then appears with a body pillow of Cheyenne, after which she apologizes to the guys. She declares that she is an otaku and starts to walk away since she feels like she has ruined everything, but Mutsumi stops her and tells her that it's okay to have such hobbies. The other guys agree that she looks much more lively with her merchandise now, and they tell her that she should choose the next location based on her interests. The next day she tells everything to Amain and even gives her a photo of Igarashi and Nana as a gift. Nana compliments Igarashi for holding onto the keychain that Kei gave to him. Back on their date, Kei ended up buying a bunch of anime keychain with minifigures, and she gifted all of them a keychain as a thank you gift. Nana finds the keychains very creepy, but Igarashi tells him to leave if he wants, and he comments that he would have less rivals to deal with if Nana leaves. They both enter the gym where Kei is playing volleyball with her classmates, and she manages to hit back the ball at a difficult angle so her classmates compliment her skills. She feels like she has grown wings after losing all the weight, and Nana recalls that she was always jumping around and quick to respond back in her days as a certified cow. Later, Kei gets told that the girls' soccer club needs her help because one of their members has gotten injured and they need one more player for their upcoming match, which is in 1 week. Kei agrees to join them despite having no practice, and afterwards she tells the boys about the situation. Mutsumi tells her to forget about their history club for now, and Hayato also cheers her on. Igarashi offers to coach her because he is in the soccer club as well, but he recalls that he also has practice after school. He tells Nana to coach her instead because he used to play soccer as well, and Nana declares that she can never learn soccer in 1 week. Kei tries convincing him that she really wants to practice to get better, but he calls her an overenthusiastic loser who will be a burden for her team. He storms off and Kei decides to win at soccer no matter what. She joins the soccer team for practice and they make her run 20 laps around the ground, after which she has to do all sorts of exercises. She ends up exhausted because she was just a shut-in loner all her life, and Hayato tapes her ankles to avoid any injuries. Mutsumi also brings her refreshments and she keeps practicing day after day. She doesn't get any better at it, and one day Nana overhears some soccer team girls talking trash behind her back. He tells them to drop the attitude since they were the ones who recruited her in the first place. He then comes across Kei trying to practice kicking balls, and just then Kei ends up hitting the ball right in her face. He tells her to quit playing and she declares that she won't give up. He asks her to show how she is kicking the ball and then starts giving her advice which can help her out. Some days later, the actual match day arrives in which Kei's team is losing the match with 1 point, and Kei suggests a new technique which can help them score a last-minute point. She keeps persuading them with her over-the-top attitude and they agree to listen to her. The match proceeds and the ball gets passed to her. She turns her back to her goal and kicks the ball in the opposite direction, but since she is the master of curveball, the ball ends up going into the net by moving in the opposite direction. The team ties the match because of her, and Nana cannot believe how unluckily stupid she is. He decides to keep pursuing her and even puts on her keychain on his mobile. Later she and Amain discuss their summer vacation plans when the teacher tells her that she will have to take supplementary classes during the vacation if she fails in one more test. The others discuss how she failed her tests right after she lost weight, and meanwhile she tries to learn English and Japanese classics at the time. She thinks that she won't be able to attend Mirage Saga's upcoming events, which makes her panic, and Mutsumi offers to teach her maths and science if she is having so many problems. The other guys ask him to teach them as well since they don't want him to spend time with Kei alone, and Mutsumi agrees. They all gather at the library where Mutsumi teaches Kei some basic maths problems and she grasps them easily. Nana asks Hayato whether he can even understand their syllabus since he is in the first year, and he reveals that he studies advanced syllabus in his prep school. They both keep arguing, which disturbs the other students in the library, so ultimately the whole group gets kicked out of there. They then establish their lair in a restaurant, but Nana keeps arguing with the others there as well, due to which they get kicked out of the restaurant too. They then discuss what they should do, and the boys decide to hold the group meeting at Kei's house next where they won't be kicked out. Kei rushes to her house where she wonders what she should do with all the gay magazines and posters. She manages to stuff everything inside her wardrobe right before the guys arrive. They all gather to study around her table and her mom comes to serve them some refreshments in full makeup. She jumps out to push her mom outside and her mom explains that she feels like welcoming some hot dudes in her house. On the other side, Nana scolds the other dudes for ruining his date with Kei since he wanted to spend some alone time with her and potentially get a chance to flirt with her. He even pulls aside her blanket and the boys become shocked to see an anime sheet underneath it. One of the boys' pencils falls underneath a bed and he bends down only to come across a life figure cardboard of an anime figure. Kei then shows them an altar that she made for the anime character Cheyenne and Mutsumi even offers to pray at the altar just to get into her pants. Of course the other boys can never stay behind for long so they pray for Cheyenne as well even though it seems pathetic to them. Takuro returns home and their mom tells him that Kei has some male guests over so he rushes to her room. He barges inside and tells everyone not to be fooled by his sister's good looks since she is a die-hard otaku at heart. The boys reveal that they already know about the whole weeb business and Takuro starts to diss her taste so she calls him narrow-minded. He runs over to her cupboard and opens it up to reveal dozens of gay magazines. They both start arguing with one another and Mutsumi kicks him out of the room for being so rude. The boys then take care of all the magazines and later she thanks them for all their help. Mutsumi even gives her a good luck pencil because he needs to keep making such points and he gives the rest of the boys pencils too. Later, Kei passes all of her tests and prepares herself for the upcoming summer vacations. After the summer vacations, the preparations of the cultural festival begin in which the teacher asks everyone for suggestions and the boys propose a maid cafe in which all girls will dress up. The girls don't think it's such a good idea but Kei jumps up and proposes that all boys and girls can dress up as maids in the cafe. After much discussion, a cosplay cafe gets finalized and Kei excitedly tells the boys about it. Nana isn't too enthusiastic about it and Kei tells him that she has got a great idea about his costume and design. She wants to make it herself so Mutsumi reminds her that they have an exhibit for their history club too and Kei declares that she will do everything for the cultural festival since she is very excited. The boys ask Hayato what his class is doing and he seems embarrassed to spill the beans. He finally reveals that they are doing a play in which he has to act as a princess and the other guys make fun of him while Kei thinks that her fantasies have finally been fulfilled. She offers to make his costume as well since she feels more motivated than ever. The preparations begin and she takes Igarashi's measurements first who feels embarrassed at seeing her so close. Next she approaches Hayato who is surrounded by lots of girls who want to see him dressed up as a princess and he whines to her about all the attention that he is getting. She still thinks that he will make a great princess and he fantasizes about pulling her against him and declaring that he is a man. She herself notices that Hayato has very manly hands and shoulders and Hayato is about to touch her when Nana interrupts them both and starts arguing with him. He declares that he has to get his measurements done next and Igarashi watches the scene unfold from a distance. 5 days before the cultural festival, Kei is burdened with all her tasks because she has taken on too many of them and Igarashi offers to help her out. Of course the others cannot leave him alone so Hayato and Nana offer to help her out as well. She accepts their offer and just then Mutsumi arrives to remind her that she still needs to do her work at the history club. She starts panicking because of too many tasks and the boys decide to do her history club tasks on her behalf. It's not like they can sew and stitch clothes with her so they head to the history club in her stead. Hayato writes down some banners for the club while Nana makes fun of his messy writing and Igarashi wonders why he is even doing such a thing when Kei is not with them. He asks Nana whether he is having fun and Nana answers him that he feels very festive. A few pass by in which Kei finishes making the costumes and she makes the boys wear them which turn out to be fabulous. Nana resembles Cheyenne in his cosplay while Igarashi wears an Attack on Titan cosplay while Hayato wears a snow-white dress which makes him look like a girl. Kei starts crying when sees that they look good in their costumes and after class they all head home together. Kei announces that she wants to enjoy the festival with everyone else but Igarashi tells her that he is not interested in playing buddy-buddy with everyone else. The others feel the same and the situation becomes really tense so Mutsumi proposes that they can each allocate a set time to hang out with her alone. They all agree on this idea and Kei receives a timetable to go on solo dates with all 4 of them. The next day she plays her part as a maid for her class cafe after which she heads out on her date with Nana and she tells him to keep his Cheyenne cosplay on. The students surround them instantly when they cross the hallway due to their haughty looks and the other guys feel good to see that Nana won't get any alone time with her. Nana feels very bad and he pulls her inside one of the clothes. They take pictures at the photo booth and Kei starts fangirling over the photos because Nana looks so much like Cheyenne. He corners her against a wall and reminds her that he is a real man but just then Mutsumi interrupts the both of them. He reminds Cheyenne that his time is up and the others drag him away while Mutsumi starts having his date with her. They go to a stall where he buys yakisoba for her and she eats it in honor of her fatso days. He thinks that he has a really comforting character and he then feeds her yakisoba with his hands, which embarrasses her a lot. Her face becomes hot and Igarashi interrupts them to declare that their time is over. He then takes her to watch Hayato's play and the play begins as Hayato enters the stage looking like a very demure princess. Igarashi grabs her hand and even puts it on his thigh, which almost makes her black out. Soon the play ends and she returns to the real world without any memories. Their date time runs out and Hayato takes over. He takes her to a haunting house and the others discuss whether Igarashi did something funny during his time. Hayato decides to show Kei his manly side and they both head inside where they face various haunting spectacles. Hayato becomes even more scared than her and Kei starts to lead the way when he sees his cute side. He stops her and reminds her that he is not a kid but he is also a man. Just then a scary monster appears and he screams out in fear. He hugs Kei in fear and they both fall down. His face lands right between her melons and she runs away from the booth screaming while Hayato appears outside in daze. She runs to Amane's side and spills all the tea to her, who cannot stop laughing at her. Kei declares that she would just like to spend a good time with the guys rather than get serious with them because she is a playgirl. Amane runs off to buy some juice for her and she gets a text message from Igarashi asking if she is okay. She wonders what she should do and just then some guys approach her. They were already looking for her class cafe and they start asking her all sorts of things. She doesn't give them much of a response, so they start coming on to her and she even punches one of them in panic. The guys lose their screws and start running after her. Igarashi jumps from out of nowhere and stops one of them while Nana also appears magically and starts fighting with them. The other boys appear as well and the whole thing turns into a full-on brawl where things start to go haywire. Kei yells at them to stop and she yells out loud that the real word is just a crappy game. Afterwards she keeps crying and the boys apologize to her one by one for rushing into things. After some time a folk dance gets announced to end the cultural festival and the boys decide to dance with each other rather than disturb Kei too much. Kei also craps her pants when she sees the boys dance together and her mind runs into Delulu land again where she imagines all sorts of things. One day, Nana proposes holding a Christmas party for everyone and everyone jumps on the idea, but Kei tells everyone that she has to go to the Comicette on Christmas so she cannot make it. The others whine about her announcement and Hayato tells the others that Comicette is the country's largest doujinshi exhibition site. Nana tries convincing her to skip it since he went during the summers as well and she apologizes to everyone since she has made up her mind to attend Comicette. Mutsumi notices that Comicette actually has group gatherings and he finds it interesting, so he suggests that they can go to Comicette with her. She reveals that her usual friend isn't coming with her because she has plans and she would love to go with them, so they all agree instantly. They all meet early in the morning one day before Christmas and Kei explains to them that they have to arrive early to get all the good books. She even gives them an etiquette book to study and they find themselves surrounded by hordes of people at the platform. Even the train is jam-packed and they exit the station with a bunch of people, which is surprising for them. Kei comments that the usual crowd is a bit less due to Christmas and they get into the queue 2.5 hours before to get into Comicette. Kei gives them all hand warmers and later it takes them 1 more hour to enter the venue. She then hands them a detailed map of the venue which includes spots where they have to buy things from and the group splits up to buy goods for her. Igarashi and Nana end up at a BL comic book stall where Igarashi embarrassingly buys a book and they end up buying one issue from all the neighboring stalls as well. The stall owners all look suspiciously at the both of them and they have to pretend that they are just casually buying the books for someone else. Kei buys some books like a Psycho on the Loose and Mutsumi takes his time buying books as he compliments the stall owners and appreciates their efforts. Hayato scolds him for acting so aloof and he decides to hold on to his sweater so that they don't get separated in the venue. Kei gets free first and she waits for the boys to arrive at the meetup spot. A random creep starts taking her photos out of nowhere and he starts coming on to her. She starts panicking because she likes playing the part of damsel in distress and a stranger stops the creep from taking her photos. He makes the creep apologize to her and she then thanks him for his help. She notices that he is also cosplaying as a famous butler, which makes her heart go wild, and the boys also arrive at the meetup spot. The stranger tells them to take better care of her and he then kisses her hand, after which he bids her goodbye. The guys think that he must be some kind of pervert who was bothering her and she reveals that the random stranger was just helping her out. They all head back and the traffic gets even worse than the morning on the way back, which wears them all out. They arrive late at the karaoke bar for their Christmas party and the boys remain exhausted while Kei sings her heart out. The next day she tells everything to Amane, including the tale about the butler cosplayer, and the same stranger turns up out of nowhere. The stranger introduces herself as Nishina from first year and she turns out to be a girl, which shocks Kei. She introduces her to the whole boys group and they feel relieved to see that the coast is clear and that they don't have to worry about another competitor. A lot of girls come up to Nishina to ask her out or to make plans with her, which starts to freak out the boys, and Nishina declares that she wants to deepen the bond with Kei. She invites her to come to her house so that they can talk endlessly about Mirage Saga, and Kei instantly accepts her invitation since she is a pathetic weeb. The boys think that something is definitely sus, so they offer to join their meetup, and Kei starts feeling emotional to know that they boys are interested in Mirage Saga too. Later they all head to Nishina's house, which turns out to be a huge mansion, and Nishina shows them a room full of action figures. Kei starts drooling over the Cheyenne action figures, and Mutsumi notices some historical plastic models which he starts admiring. Nana and Hayato think that Nishina is definitely seducing the group one by one, so they decide not to let their guard down. Nishina then shows them all her costumes that she has made, and she compliments Hayato for looking so good in his princess costume in the cultural festival. He tells her to stop bluffing, and she declares that she is very serious since he really looked beautiful. Hayato gets sold on the spot as he thanks her for all the compliment, and Nana thinks that he won't go down like his friends. Nishina then leads everyone into a room which is stacked with comics and gay mangas, and which makes Kei drool everywhere. She rushes to one side to read a manga, and Nishina reveals that she is actually the author of the manga that she is holding in her hands. She even draws Cheyenne on the spot to prove her skills, and Kei loses her crap over this. She asks her to give her autograph, and Nishina comments that she can draw for her whenever she wants. Kei almost loses her consciousness at the spot and asks her to hold her. Nana thinks about how Nishina has everything from looks to money and even skills, but he still thinks that he can draw manga characters too. He tries drawing Cheyenne, but the drawings turns out to be garbage, and he feels very upset about this, but Kei assures him that Cheyenne's drawing is still a treasure and asks to keep it. The others draw trash drawings for her, and she likes all of them as long as they are attempting to draw Cheyenne. Nishina then takes everyone to another room where she asks them to model for her. She and Kei discuss that a photo shoot of the hotties will be out of this world, and they both start going to Delyalu land where they imagine all sorts of things. Nishina splits the boys in pairs and makes them pose in close proximity. Slowly her instructions start to creep them out, and she asks them to put their head on the other's lap, but they refuse to listen to her. Kei demonstrates the pose by putting Nishina's head on her lap and speaking some corny dialogues. Nishina then leans up and kisses her on the mouth. The boys start scolding her, and Nishina declares that she is very serious about her actions. The next day, Kei is watching the new work on Mirage Saga's website when she recalls her kiss with Nishina. After Nishina's declaration, she told everyone that she was just kidding and messing with everyone. Still, Kei keeps recalling everything and feeling very awkward about it. She then sees a special event on the Mirage Saga's website, so the next day she tells them about it. It's a Valentine's Day event in which people have to send specially designed chocolates for the Mirage Saga characters, and the winner will get a custom designed character from the manga illustrator along with a sign from them. Kei wonders what kind of chocolates she should make, and Nishina comes barging in the class to ask her about the same event. Nana doesn't let her near Kei because he finds her very sus, and she invites Kei to make chocolates together. Kei keeps feeling suspicious of her, so she invites the boys to her house as well. Later they all gather at her house, where Kei guides the boys on how to imprint Cheyenne's character on the chocolates through parchment paper. She shows them how to copy his character on the parchment paper and then trace his outline with the chocolate pen, but even after making the character she doesn't seem satisfied and rips it apart. She thinks that all the others will also be making the same designs, and Nishina suggests making 3D characters to stand out. She shows her a 3D chocolate, and Kei begs her to teach her how to do it, to which she agrees. Later the guys practice how to make the chocolates through parchment paper while Kei tries making 3D chocolates, but they keep turning out horrible. Nishina hugs her from behind and requests her to have fun, so Nana pulls her away and reminds her not to get too close to her. Hayato also finds her behavior suspicious, and she acts all innocent as she exclaims that they are both girls, so it's natural for both of them to be close. Igarashi points out that her behavior is definitely suspicious, and Nishina defends herself that she just finds Kei attractive because of her good looks. Igarashi thinks that she is very shallow, and she reminds him that he is the shallow one since he is after her looks too. Kei keeps practicing making the 3D art, but she fails to make proper chocolate, and at the end Nishina shows her a 3D Cheyenne chocolate sculpture that looks really good. She asks her to send it in under her name, and the others insist on her as well. Later, when she is at her home, she thinks about it and she thinks that her chocolates are also very delicious, but they just look good. She sends her chocolates to the competition, and the next day she apologizes to Nishina for not sending her chocolate. They reconcile with each other, and Kei then gives everyone some chocolate as obligatory Valentine Day gifts. Nana and Igarashi afterwards discuss how cute Kei is, and Igarashi thinks that he was into her looks in the beginning, but he genuinely likes her now. After a few days, Kei turns up to the school with her weight gained and her fatso self restores, and she explains that she kept eating all the chocolate that she had made, which made her gain weight. Nana collapses from the shock and Kei rushes out to get help, but she ends up knocking Hayato down into a coma. The boys discuss in the infirmary that they need to make Kei lose some weight because they cannot bear to see her in such a fat state. Nana rushes to the class where Nishina is feeding Kei some Valentine's Day chocolates, and the boys yell at her to stop feeding the cow even more. Nishina finds Kei really cute in her new form, and Nana even starts crying at some point because he can't bear the fatness. Kei reveals that Nishina is throwing her a party because she has actually won the Valentine's Day competition, and the boys cannot believe that her ugly chocolate won any award. She raves about how she is going to meet all the people and the director that she has admired all this time, and Nana tries convincing her that she needs to lose weight in order to look her best for them. He makes her run laps around the ground, and Mutsumi sees her for the first time, but he doesn't find her that chubby. Nishina brings some snacks for her and she decides to keep working out. The next day she looks like she is about to die, and Nana wonders why she isn't losing weight, so he decides to change her regimen. He reminds Igarashi that they all liked her good looks better, so she needs to shed some weight quickly. After the classes, Hayato shows her an anime dance that they can do in groups which can help her exercise, and they all do the dance with her to motivate her. She goes beyond everyone and keeps dancing, but ultimately she ends up cracking her back, which lands her in the infirmary. Nishina comes out of the infirmary and tells the boys to stop their yapping about Kei's weight loss. She blames Nana for pushing her too hard, and they both start arguing, so Mutsumi stops them and reminds them that they should all just focus on what Kei wants to do. Nishina heads inside and takes Kei back home. The next day she brings her back to school, and Kei apologizes to Nana for making such a fuss. Nishina carries her bag to the seat, and throughout the day she keeps stalking her. Kei starts to get fed up with her constant worrying at some point, and Igarashi notices her unease, so he takes her to the roof to relax. She feels like she is making everyone worry, and she wants to own up to her mistake by working hard, since it was her decision to meet Mirage Saga's cast. Igarashi thinks that he has always liked her positivity and that her looks don't really matter to him. He returns to the class and shares with Nana that he has fallen in love with Kei all over again. He explains that her looks don't matter to him, and Nana tries putting some sense into him. Later, Kei tells everyone that she wants to continue exercising, and Nana and Hayato present a reward-based exercise regimen to her. They explain to her that they will do some gay things for her the more she sheds weight, and she realizes that she can get them to hug if she loses some kilograms of weight, so starts exercising on the spot. Igarashi reminds her to go slow and to not hurt herself. He explains to Nishina that he actually doesn't care about her looks and he wants what's best for her. Later, Kei does her best to lose weight to watch the boys do some gay stuff, and ultimately she sheds all her weight. As a last award, Nishina asks Igarashi and Nana to kiss as well, and they both do it for Kei's sake. Later, the Mirage Saga ceremony takes place without a hitch, in which Kei looks her best. Another day Kei walks to the school and Hayato greets her on the way, but she ignores her existence completely. Even Nana and Igarashi greet her in the hallway, but she looks to be in a daze and passes by them without responding to them. During the break, Mutsumi places his forehead on hers and announces that she doesn't have a fever. She then snaps back to reality and declares that she has found someone special in her life. They all wonder who it is, and true to her weeb nature, she reveals that it's actually a character named Akane from Kachurabu. She starts her rant that she saw Akane is a new anime and starts obsessing over him from the get-go, due to which she saved all his pictures and spent the whole night thinking about him. Nishina declares that she has also made Akane her new wallpaper, and they keep up their yapping about Akane's character and his backstory. The guys wonder why Akane got such a promotion, and they ask her about Cheyenne, so she tells them Cheyenne is still at her Hall of Fame, but Akane has got her heart for now. The boys don't get what she is talking about, so she makes them watch the trailer for the Snow Kachurabu, in which Akane acts as a retainer for her young lord. The lord's assistant announces that the enemy has come to attack him, and the young lord rushes out, but the enemy starts shooting at him from a hidden spot. Akane rushes to hug him, and he transforms into the young lord's armor, which provides him defense and strength. Kei explains to the boys that Akane is actually the young lord's helmet and armor, and they don't understand the logic, so they start asking questions like how someone could transform into armor. Nishina announces that she really ships Akane with the lord, while Kei announces that she ships lord with Akane instead. They both get into an argument about the right sequence of the gay ship, and they discuss who has the superiority in the gay ship and whose name should be put first. Since they cannot reach a mutual agreement, they part their ways, and the boys remain confused about the whole thing. The next day Nishina and Kei don't even greet each other, and Kei keeps coming across articles which support Nishina's argument. Amain asks the boys what happened between Kei and Nishina, and they tell her about their lame argument. She declares that the argument is very serious and that they may never talk to one another. She explains that they are having a reverse shipping argument in which they have to determine who is the leader in the gay relationship and who is the follower. Kei and Nishina continue to ignore each other and Nishina stops joining them at lunch as well. The next day, Mutsumi invites Kei to go to an anime Edo store with him and he makes an excuse that he wants to watch some goods related to the Sengoku period. Igarashi also calls Nishina and asks her to come along with him and Nana to an anime store. He makes an excuse that he wants to buy a gift for Kei and he keeps yapping endlessly, due to which she finally agrees to go. The next day they all arrive at the anime Edo store at the same time and the girls realize that they have been tricked. The boys drag them to a restaurant where they reveal that they have actually been watching Akane's show as well. The both of them start discussing the show with them and things finally seem to be working, but Hayato ends up mentioning that the princess in the show definitely suits the lord. Both Kei and Nishina remind him that the lord and Akane will end up together and the rest of the boys pump them up that Akane and lord definitely have a strong bond. The girls get to business again as they start arguing whether Akane and lord are the right pair or lord and Akane are the right pair. Nishina proposes a solution to their third world problem, which involves each of them writing a fan fiction and posting them on the anime site. The fan fiction with the most hits will win and the author's opinion will be considered right only. Kei agrees to write the fan fiction and they part ways after deciding on the timing of the fan fiction submission. Nishina heads on her way and Igarashi asks her whether she is willing to let go of Kei once the whole thing dies down. He comments that he would be relieved to have lesser competition and then goes on his way. In the past, Nishina likes beautiful things, due to which she starts drawing mangas, but everyone around her thinks that she is using her daddy's money to become successful. In the present, she tries not to fall asleep as she works on her fan fiction, and the next day Kei also arrives at the school completely exhausted. She shows Mutsumi her fan fiction and he gives her advice on how to improve her text. The others think that he is giving her very basic advice and Hayato later corners Nishina. He tells her to give up the fan fiction and he reminds her that she has been writing professional manga, due to which their skill gap is too big. She just corners him against the wall and tells him that she is not giving up. Later the boys make fun of him for being cornered by a girl and they realize that none of the girls will give up. The girls continue to write their fan fiction and finally they submit it at the same time on the official website. Both fan fictions start to get a lot of hits and they all gather to check who is the winner. The results get checked and Nishina turns out to be the winner. She asks Kei to admit her defeat and Kei has to reluctantly say that she has lost. She starts crying and runs away, so Igarashi asks Nishina whether it was even worth it to make the girl she liked cry. Later Nishina thinks about the first time she met Kei when she joined the school. A fancy car dropped her off and the students started whispering about her rich status. Suddenly Kei ran into the students and fell over them, which distracted them from Nishina. Sometime later Nishina was selling her manga for the first time when Kei bought manga from her and ran away before she could get more information from her. She also sent her a message after the convention thanking her for the manga. Later, Kei lost all the weight and Nishina failed to recognize her in the school, but one day she overheard some students talking about how she has lost weight and turned into a beauty. She realizes that she always thought Kei was beautiful at every stage of her life and that she doesn't want to lose her over a petty fight. She runs to look for her and even keeps calling her, but Kei doesn't pick up her phone. Kei tells the boys that she doesn't feel like talking to Nishina and Igarashi sends Nishina their location. Just when Nishina barges inside, Kei tells everyone that she really loves Nishina's books and they both declare their love for each other when they see each other. They hug one another and end the fight once and for all. Another day Kei discusses with everyone that there is an upcoming event regarding the funeral of the person on which Lord's character is based upon. The funeral event is at 7 AM in the morning and the night train is all booked, so Nishina offers her a helicopter to travel. She declares that she will go by her own means and Nishina feels moved by her commitment, so they decide to head a day before the event together. They decide to stay at a nearby place for a night and the boys feel sus of Nishina's intentions, so Mutsumi offers to go with them, especially since he is also interested in the historical figure's funeral. The other guys declare that they want to go as well and after a few days they all head to the venue. They reach the nearby venue, which seems pretty old-fashioned, and eat dinner together. Afterwards, the boys and girls separately enjoy the hot springs and some boys tease Hayato about his pink nipples, which gets the girls' blood running. They all play cards after the bath and Nana and Igarashi start to have a pillow fight against one another. Nishina joins Nana as well, and meanwhile Kei and Mutsumi have a small pillow fight as well. Igarashi ends up tripping on the pillows and he falls on top of Kei. The guys drag him back and start to beat him to death, but just then the owner arrives and threatens to call the police on them. The next day they head to the shrine where they pay their respects, and on the way back they come across some wooden plaques. Kei puts a wooden plaque praying for Akane to end up with Lord and Nishina makes a drawing on the wooden plaque. They then take the boys to a museum where there is a model of Lord with his armor, and the girls start to cry in desperation because they are that pathetic. The guard forcibly moves all the girls to the next site, which is the actual portrait of the Lord, and it turns out to be hideous, but the girls still fangirl over it endlessly. The guard forces them to move once again, and Mutsumi thinks that they should visit the actual Lord's body. He takes them to the Lord's grave where the girls feel extra emotional and they pray over his grave. They keep praying for a long time and the boys have to drag them to the restaurant. Kei shows Nishina that she has put the grave as her wallpaper, and Mutsumi mentions that it's actually a headless grave. He explains that the Lord Sametora once fought a battle against his own son and he won the battle, after which he appealed with the army to spare his son. They spared his son on the condition that he has to end his life, and just when he was about to do it he learned that his son was actually dead. He cut through a number of generals and they cut off his head. They then buried the head in a separate world which is near the main grave, and the girls decide to head to the island after lunch. The shopkeeper warns them that the island is cursed, but this motivates them even more. The only boats which can take them to the island seem pretty worn out, and since they are all two-seaters, the whole group plays rock paper scissors to sort out the pairs. Kei gets paired with Igarashi and they all head to the island on the cheap boats. Igarashi pedals the boat and apologizes to Kei for falling on her. He points out that she keeps avoiding him and she tells him that she is not used to being close to a man. He holds her hand and tells her to get used to it. Nana and Nishina feel that Igarashi did something wrong in the neighboring boat and they pedal hard to hit his boat. They both curse him and keep hitting his boat. Meanwhile, the weather becomes worse as they approach the island and a whirlpool appears in the water. All of them get sucked inside it and they all wash up on the island. Igarashi wakes up to find that Kei and Mutsumi are missing and that Nana is knocked out. His phone isn't working either and Nishina urges him to give CPR to him. Mutsumi wakes up beside Kei and realizes that she isn't breathing either. Igarashi gives CPR to Nana while Nishina keeps taking their pictures, and Nana finally comes back to life. Nishina excitedly tells him about what happened and they decide to search for the others. Mutsumi decides to give CPR to Kei, but just when he is about to perform the deadly task, Kei wakes up and he tells her about the ongoing situation. They hear their friends' voices calling out to them, so they start to head in their direction. Both groups try to find one another, but they keep getting lost in the woods. Hayato realizes at one point that they are passing by the same woods, and just then Kei collapses on the ground. Mutsumi realizes that she is burning with fever and he discovers an abandoned spot nearby, so he takes her there. He puts her inside a blanket and he thinks that her fever won't come down due to her wet clothes. The other group discusses why they are just moving around in circles and they come across an old guy in the woods. Mutsumi strips both Kei and himself and then huddles together with her to warm her up. Once her fever is down, he puts the clothes back on her and she wakes up after a while. She tells him that she had a very good dream about hugging a soft cat, and just then the mirrors of the room start to break. The old man takes the group to an abandoned room where he tells them that they can meet their friends in the afterlife. He then turns around with a deadly smile and they make a run for it. Mutsumi and Kei run for their lives in the forest and some fireballs chase after them. They come across a grave where they face a bunch of ghosts along with Lord Samatora's ghost. The ghosts attack them and Mutsumi uses his good luck charm to ward them off. Kei also uses her shrine charm to take care of some of them, so Samatora's ghost attacks them directly. Mutsumi barely manages to hold him off and Kei uses a special chanting technique that she learned from anime to block him. The Lord's ghost starts to burn and he curses all humans, but Kei reminds him that the Lord Sametora she knows loves everyone. She begins yapping endlessly about how good Sametora actually is and how everyone prays at his shrine, due to which the ghost realizes that it can finally achieve peace. It vanishes from the spot and the other group also comes running at them. They head back to the main island where the shopkeeper tells them that he mistakenly fed them some hallucinogenic mushrooms which probably caused them to hallucinate everything. The group becomes convinced and Mutsumi decides not to tell them that they actually faced the ghosts. At the school, the usual group eats their lunch and Nana thinks that something has definitely changed even though everything seems the same as always. He recalls the morning when Igarashi shook hands with Kei and asked her whether she had gotten used to his touch. She revealed that she is used to handshakes, so he turned it up a notch and grabbed her hands with both his hands. He cannot believe that Igarashi has been promoted, and he then notices that Nishina and Kei have gotten a lot closer too since their fight. They keep fangirling over an Akane and the Lord, and Mutsumi compliments how brave she was during her fight with the ghosts. She knows that it was all an illusion, but suddenly she recalls the moments from their trip when Mutsumi had stripped her clothes and warmed her body up. She wonders why she is thinking about such things and Mutsumi talks about something, but she is unable to meet his eyes because she is an awkward potato. Nana thinks that something has definitely happened between them, and he notices that Kei seems even more attracted to Hayato for some reason, but he is the only one who hasn't faced any progress. He realizes that he has been left behind and his little sister asks him to dance to a girl's anime, so he dances with her. They perform the whole cringe dance together and she then asks him to make eggs for her. He makes eggs for her and thinks that he is definitely going to go all out to secure a date with her soon. The next day he is about to execute his plans when Nishina gets to her first and tries to make plans with her. Kei reveals that she has a job to go to and that she spent her allowance in advance for the shrine visit, so she needs to work now to buy all the weeb stuff for the new show she is watching. She yaps about how she has even used her New Year's allowance in advance, due to which she has gotten a job at Usami Land to work in the Pori Pori Moon Show. Later, Igarashi goes to apply at the same place and he tells the interviewers that he loves the Pori Pori Moon Show more than anything. They ask him about his favorite character, but he is unable to name a character. He keeps insisting that he likes the show a lot, due to which they hire him as a cruise leader. Nishina applies for the job next and she tells them that she would be very busy in between and would need time off. They don't think she is suitable for the role, so they hire as a cafe butler. Next up, Hayato applies for the job, but before he can try convincing them, they hire him as a princess cosplayer because of his pretty boy looks. Mutsumi tries applying next and he declares that he likes kids a lot, so they end up hiring him as a children's mascot. Finally, Nana applies for the position and he declares with all his manly dignity that he knows all the songs plus the dances because he watches the show with his sister. He makes a few gay poses for them, after which they hire him as the Dark Prince for Pori Pori Moon Show. Later, he tells everything to his sister, who feels really excited for him, and he warns her that he cannot stay at home during the weekends because he needs to train for the show. He begins training with Kei at work and he feels like he is in heaven, but Igarashi comes to escort her home after work each day, which keeps ruining his mood. Later, he gets a text from Kei telling him to meet up at the ticket counter and he feels like he is the closest with her out of all the boys. The next morning he hurries to the practice and when he arrives there he faints all of a sudden. He wakes up and Kei tells him that he fainted due to a fever, after which a colleague gave him a ride home. She advises him to rest and then heads to his kitchen where she starts making food for him. Nana's sister keeps staring at her and even asks whether she is his pathetic brother's girlfriend, so Kei reveals to her that she is just a friend who works with him on the same show. She tells her that she plays the Ruby character, which excites her a lot, and she starts yapping endlessly about the show. She even says that Nana is always with her when their parents are not at home, but he has been busy with the show these days. Meanwhile, Nana's mind goes on a tour of the gutter as he imagines that Kei is in his room and he starts flirting with her. He wakes up in a daze and Kei comes to his room with his food. He pulls her to the bed and kisses her hard. She realizes that he isn't even fully conscious, so she tries to get away from him, but his grip is too hard. Igarashi suddenly bursts inside the room and kicks Nana to the side. Kei then makes a run for it and Igarashi runs after her. He grabs her arm on the street, but she pulls it away and runs away after apologizing to him again. Igarashi runs inside again and tries to put some sense into Nana, but he realizes that he is in a daze of fever. He slaps him awake and Nana realizes that he forced himself on her by mistake. The next day Kei doesn't come to school and she skips out of the training as well. He wants to go to her house, but he doesn't want to push her luck. He then returns home and his sister gives him a drawing that she made for him and Kei. He changes his mind and runs to Kei's home. Meanwhile, Kei is reading gay manga as she is recovering from her cold, and she thinks about how steamy scenes are all nice in gay mangas, but in reality things become really awkward. Her brother tells her that Nana has come to meet her, but she tells him to don't let Nana inside. Nana then starts yelling from the outside of the house that she doesn't have to forgive him, but she should still come to the show because his sister is really cheering him on. Akuro runs outside to deal with him and he gives him his sister's drawing. Next day, the official preparations begin for the Pori Pori Moon Show and Kei arrives just in time. She tells Nana that she already knew he acted in a fever daze, but she is still feeling awkward around him. They all prepare for the show and outside everyone gathers in the audience. A few men occupy the first line even though it's reserved for kids, and the cast arrives at the stage. The show is about to begin when the three men start to look at the cast's plot, so Nana takes the lead. He announces that he is forming an alliance with the Moon Girls and he then starts to push the guys off the stage. Kei teams up with him and he promises to never hurt her again. They both deal with the bad guys and the time for the group dance comes. Nana dresses up as one of the Moon Girls and dances with the other girls while all the children cheer them on. Later, he and Kei reconcile and the rest of their friends make fun of him when they see him dressed as a Moon Girl. A few days later, the group goes to Nishina's family beach resort to enjoy their summer vacations and Nishina gives Kei the room with the best view. Kei wonders if it's alright for her to have a room all by herself and Nishina reassures her that they have enough rooms for everyone. She tells her to get ready so she can take them to the beach, and on the other side, Nana complains about all the boys being in a single room. Nana thinks about how he would have had another chance to get closer to Kei if the rest of the guys weren't present, and Shinomiya looks at his non-existent muscles in the mirror. Reality quickly hits him as he realizes that he is built like a toothpick and does not like going outside, which makes him wonder if he should have stayed at home. They head to the beach and all the boys get a treat for the eyes when they see Kei in a swimsuit. Nishina suggests that they should try surfing, and Shinomiya and Kei reveal that they have never surfed before. Kei says good luck to him, which was enough for him to realize that coming to the beach was worth it. Kei gets impressed when she sees Nishina body surfing so easily, so Shinomiya tries to impress her too but fails miserably. She falls into the water just like him and they both get matching seaweed on their heads, which makes them laugh. Shinomiya feels happy that everything is going smoothly, but Igarashi and Nana's pro skating skills take her attention. Shinomiya feels frustrated and takes the board from Nana so he can impress her too. He barely stands on the board and the water pushes him forward, which shocks everyone. He ends up hitting a rock and falling face first on Kei's chest, which is the luckiest thing that has happened to him yet. Nana quickly pulls him back, but the boy has already gone to heaven. He wakes up after a while and apologizes to Kei while the guys scold him for doing it intentionally. She tells them to forget about it as it was just a mistake, but he continues to apologize. She politely asks him to eat the food so they can all go play volleyball next, and he starts getting butterflies again just from seeing her up close. They overhear a few guys rating other girls out loud based on their looks, and all the guys simultaneously send Kei and Nishina away first to avoid any problems. The perverts notice the two leaving and rate them 100, which is the truth, but they start talking about their asses. Nana dumps a load of juice on their heads out of anger and the pervert gets angry. Igarashi steps in between and tells the perverts to do whatever they want except looking at the two girls with them. The pervert almost punches them, but Mutsumi pokes his forehead before asking in a scary voice if they understand or not, and the perverts quickly back down. The guys head to the beach and Nishina thanks them for handling it. Shinomiya realizes that he was the only one who did not know what was going on, and he wonders how he is supposed to win Kei's heart against such great guys. The group plays volleyball for a while before heading back to the resort to make some barbecue, and Nishina offers to tell the head cook to make the barbecue for them. Kei says that it will be more fun when they do it themselves, and Shinomiya thinks about how he will become someone reliable too who can protect Kei. He sees a snake approaching her and quickly jumps towards her to save her, but knocks the barbecue tray out of her hand. The snake quietly leaves and Shinomiya gets extremely embarrassed at what he did. He almost ends up crying and decides to go back to his house, so he starts running away. The rest of the group gets shocked at what just happened, and he thinks about how he should not have come because he was never the outdoor type guy. He trips over a tree root and falls down on his face to prove his point. Tears swell up and the rest of the group wonders why he went towards the forest after saying that he is going home. Kei suggests that they should look for him before it gets dark, and they all head after him. They try to cross a bridge, but Nana keeps stalling them because he is a wuss and the bridge breaks as soon as Kei crosses it. The rest of the group falls on the ground, which is a few feet below them unlike normal bridges, and they tell Kei to find Shinomiya while they come back up through a longer route. She heads further into the forest and hears him screaming. She runs to him and finds him tangled up in branches, which brings out her BL fetish. She unties him after returning to normal, and he reveals that he got fully tied up while trying to free his ankle. Her hormones start acting up again after she realizes that he is the typical clumsy guy in every gay story. She starts guiding him back to the group after coming back to her senses, but it suddenly starts raining out of nowhere. They rush back but end up getting lost and find themselves outside a creepy abandoned hotel. They feel scared but still head inside to avoid the rain, and a shadowy figure watches them from the window. She starts sneezing because someone had to be dramatic after getting a little wet, and Shinomiya covers her with his coat. She thanks him for it, but he reminds her that they got stuck in this situation because of him. They hear something moving and he quickly steps in front of her to protect her from danger despite getting scared. She starts chanting out of fear, which freaks him out even more, but she starts acting like she is not scared to calm him down. He notices her trembling and he holds her hand before declaring that he will protect her. They suddenly hear people laughing behind them, and Shinomiya realizes that they are the perverted guys they met before at the restaurant. The perverts start teasing them and one holds Shinomiya by the collar for trying to act like Iron Man. The other two guys hold Kei back and Shinomiya apologizes to the guy for acting tough. The guy pushes him to the side before heading towards Kei, but Shinomiya suddenly kicks him in the balls before running outside with Kei. The perverts run after them, but the rest of the guys appear, which scares the perverts away. The group heads back towards the resort after a while, and Shinomiya apologizes to them for putting them into such a mess. They tell him that it's alright, which makes him happy, and he thinks about how he might not be better than the rest of the guys, but he will still not give up on Kei. He decides that he will become the best out of them all, and he runs forward out of excitement but steps into a gutter the next second. He suddenly turns feminine again right after deciding to be better, and they all tell him that he is clumsy, but the girls go crazy due to the clumsy appeal. A few days later, the group returns to school and Matsumi suggests that they should all go on a treasure hunt before revealing a treasure map he found in the history club. Igarashi feels skeptical about it and questions why such an important thing would be in the history club, so Matsumi explains that he found it inside a pot that another member got from an old temple. Nana points out that it sounds too shady to be true, and the rest of the guys also find it weird, so they all decide that they won't be going with him. Kei says that it's just going to be her and Matsumi because she is also in the history club. All the group members suddenly change their decision and decide that they want to go cause they would rather die than let someone have alone time with Kei, but she and Matsumi rejoice that they will all be going together. After a while, the rest of the members talk about how Matsumi seems more gentlemanly than the rest, and Nishina questions if Matsumi even likes Kei. The guys point out that he was trying to spend alone time with her, which obviously means that he likes her, but Nishina explains that she never gets that feeling from him when they are all together. Igarashi thinks about it and realizes that Matsumi has never tried to spend alone time with her, nor did he ever try to compete with them. A few days later, the group arrives in front of Mount Fuji to search for the treasure, and they find a cave thanks to the map. Kei's excitement causes her to yap continuously, and the guys decide to head in first to check if there is anything dangerous. They continue walking until Matsumi slips due to the slippery stones, and he says that he is glad that they all came too. Igarashi suddenly asks him how he feels about Kei and says that the rest of them like her, that's why they're here. He replies that he likes her, which makes the boys feel like they were just overthinking it, but he further says that he loves every single one of them. Igarashi explains that he was talking about whether he likes her romantically or not, and Matsumi suddenly gets confused. He explains that he never thought of her like that, and they start pressing him about how he actually feels for her. The girls also appear and the guys act like they weren't talking about anything. They all start walking and Matsumi wonders if he actually likes her or not. Nana suddenly stops because he feels like something fell on his head, and they look up only to find dozens of bats stuck to the roof. The bats start flying around, which makes them panic. They start running away and Matsumi and Kei get separated from the group. The group tries to find the way back but have no idea which way they came from. Kei finds Matsumi zoned out, and he reveals that he got locked inside a storehouse once, which gave him trauma so bad that he cannot move in the dark now. She suddenly holds his hand to make him feel relaxed, and she guides him through the dark. They find the rest of the group and she almost lets go of his hand, but he grabs it again. He pulls her close and hugs her out of nowhere before letting go again after getting shocked at his own actions. Igarashi reveals that they found the treasure they came for, and it turns out to be a fake-looking chest. Matsumi opens it and finds a letter from the first president of the history club, congratulating the finder of the chest on becoming the second president. Matsumi reveals that the prankster, founder of the club, was actually his older brother named Kazuma, which shocks everyone. They head out of the cave afterwards, and a few days later, Kazuma appears before them as the new student teacher. During lunch break, Kei asks Matsumi if he knew that Kazuma would be coming, so Matsumi reveals that Kazuma lives separately and they didn't keep in touch, which is why he was also shocked. Nana questions if they don't get along, and Kazuma suddenly appears out of nowhere before answering that they get along just fine. The two brothers unleash their brotherly love because they met after a long time, and the girls enjoy the scene. Matsumi tells him that they all went with him to find the treasure, and Kazuma fails to understand what treasure they're talking about. Nana gets pissed that he does not even remember after playing such a huge prank on them, and Matsumi tells Kazuma more about the treasure. Kazuma suddenly recalls the fake treasure map he made 3 years ago, and he laughs at them for falling for it. He thanks them for helping out his little brother and suddenly asks which one of them is Matsumi dating. He gets disappointed and says that it's a waste not to date anyone in a group full of pretty boys and girls after Matsumi explains that he is not dating anyone. The guys get confused why he mentioned them, and Kazuma explains that gender is not a big deal as he himself would not mind sleeping with every single one of them. He suddenly grabs Kei's hand and Matsumi gets angry, which shocks everyone. He quickly changes the topic by reminding Kazuma that he has a class to take, so he should leave, and Kazuma rushes out after realizing that he is late. A few days go by as Kazuma continues to grow popular in school due to his good look and humor, and Kei encounters him while coming back from shopping. Kazuma invites her to lunch where he talks about how he likes teasing Matsumi by pranking him. He reveals that he was the one who locked Matsumi inside the storehouse, and Kei tells him that getting locked in the storehouse gave him severe trauma. She continues to praise Matsumi, and Kazuma says that his little brother has grown up a lot. At night, Kazuma tells Matsumi about how he had lunch with Kei, and Matsumi feels weird about it. The next day, Kazuma gives her a legendary Mirage Saga set he had at home because he knew Kei loved that anime, and she starts drooling the moment she sees that set. She feels hesitant to accept such a precious gift, and a box almost falls on her, so Kazuma quickly pulls her in. They have a slow-motion romantic moment and he grabs her chin before telling her that she is really cute. She gets flustered and Matsumi hits Kazuma with a book to make him stop. Kei quickly hides behind him and he tells Kazuma that it's not right for a student teacher to say something like that to a student. Kazuma points out that his term will end soon so he is free to pursue her after that. Matsumi declares that Kei is his girlfriend so he won't let him make a pass on her. Suddenly all the other guys barge inside and almost faint with shock. Even Kei asks him whether it's true and Kazuma bursts out laughing as he comments that Matsumi still cannot lie properly. He also approaches Nana and puts a finger on his gay lips which makes him almost faint from shock. Kazuma comments that he cannot help teasing cute people similar to how he was teasing Kei, which makes the others realize that he was just messing around. He declares that he finally realizes how they all feel about Kei and that he has feelings for her too. They remind him that he is a teacher but he corrects them that he is just a student teacher. He asks Kei to go out with him and she tells him that she already has a wife by the name of Cheyenne. The next day, he asks her out again and she tells him that she has a total of 16 wives so she doesn't have any space in her life. The others watch everything from a distance and they send their first soldier Hayato to take Kazuma down. He goes to Kei and tells her that Amain is looking for her, due to which she leaves them and walks away. Kazuma warns him to not get in his way and he even asks him to introduce him to a girl he might know. He then proceeds to show Hayato a picture of him dressed up as a girl and he tells him that he likes such types of girls. He kisses the photo and Hayato runs away in fear. Later, Kazuma takes a class in which he announces that everyone has to answer his questions, otherwise naughty boys and girls will get a kiss from him. The girls start screaming and he proceeds to ask them questions one by one. They all answer him correctly and he then gets to Kei, but he suddenly increases the difficulty of his question, which is directed towards her. She doesn't know the answer and Igarashi offers to answer it instead. Kazuma allows him and Igarashi declares that he doesn't know the answer, due to which Kazuma has to kiss him now. Nana cannot believe that he would sacrifice his honor for Kei's sake and Kazuma proceeds to flick his forehead rather than kiss him. He explains that of course he cannot kiss his own students and that he wouldn't kiss Igarashi anyway since Nana looks like he is about to cry. The others start thinking that Nana and Igarashi are a gay couple and their reputation gets destroyed in a second. Nishina declares that she won't ever lose the battle and she storms off to deal with him. She returns to the roof in a few hours and collapses on the floor. She recalls that she confronted Kazuma and asked him to stop pursuing Kei, so he took his first ever published manga and started narrating her horrible writing out loud. She collapses in Nana's arms and they all decide to take Matsumi's help, who is Kazuma's brother after all. They all corner Matsumi and drag him with them to deal with Kazuma. They all then watch as Kazuma asks Kei about all of her wives and she starts giving him a long explanation. Later Matsumi approaches Kazuma and asks him to forget about Kei, but Kazuma tells him that he is very serious about her. He then pushes him inside a locker and closes it shut. He declares that he always takes what he wants and he leaves while Matsumi gets left behind in darkness. He remembers when they were both children and since they were both history nerds they both prayed to get Nagoya Castle model for Christmas. The next day Matsumi got the Nagoya Castle while Kazuma got some other castle, and Matsumi wanted him to be happy as well so he offered his Nagoya Castle to his brother. Kazuma got offended in return and Matsumi defended himself that he never even liked the Nagoya Castle so he could have it. Kazuma argued with him and tried hard to make him confess that he actually liked Nagoya Castle, but Matsumi kept insisting that he didn't want it. Kazuma then shut him inside a storeroom and announced that he won't let him out till he confessed that he really liked Nagoya Castle too. In the present, Matsumi's friends let him out and they discuss how horrible Kazuma is for treating his own brother so roughly. They wonder what they should do now and Matsumi just walks away from them since he believes that they cannot do anything if Kazuma is really serious about Kei. The next morning Nana escorts Kei to the class since he wants to protect her from Kazuma, and he and Igarashi discuss how they need to keep Kazuma away from her. Just then Kazuma makes an announcement through the school speaker system in which he challenges Matsumi to a duel game of a Guard the Castle game. Guard the Castle is actually a card game that is based on the Sengoku era, and Matsumi rushes to the speaker room to confront Kazuma. His brother tells him that he is serious about the duel and that he has to come. The whole school feels excited to witness their duel, and Kei also yaps excitedly about the duel to Matsumi. She cannot wait for their duel, and Matsumi shares his third world problems with her, that he always gives up whatever he wants to have and he always likes sharing his things. He reveals that he has never fought for anything, and Kei realizes that there is something at stake due to which the brothers are dueling, so she suggests that he should give it up. Matsumi declares that he cannot give it up and she takes his hand as she comments that he should then fight for what he wants. He gets more motivated to fight for her sake and decides that he is not losing to Kazuma this time. Later, everyone gathers at the gym to watch the duel of the brothers and Kei's harem holds props to cheer Matsumi. The brothers arrive at the gym and their card battle begins. Nobody understands what's happening except for the certified weebs, and both Kazuma and Mutsumi continue to throw cards at each other. They play with equal strength and Kazuma then makes a sneaky move at Mutsumi. His friends cheer him on and he sees that Kei is also cheering him on, so he becomes extra motivated to win. He throws a combo card at him and ends up winning the match. He tells Kazuma that he cannot let him do what he wants, and Kazuma feels good to know that he is finally fighting back. Afterwards, Kei congratulates Mutsumi on winning and she asks him what was at stake for the duel, so Mutsumi reveals that it was something really precious to him. He then confesses his feelings to her, that he really likes her. She fails to hear what he said and asks him to say it again, but the boys drag him away before he can properly confess to her. They ask him what he was planning to say to her, so he reveals that he was going to confess that he loves her. They all get shocked and question why he would do that when he already told them that he does not like her romantically. He answers that he does like her romantically and just realized it a few moments ago thanks to Kazuma, that's why he wants to tell her as soon as possible. Nana points out that they won't let him do that and Mutsumi gets confused, so Igarashi explains that they all like her, so it would be unfair if one person gets a head start by confessing first. Mutsumi suggests that they should all confess together and Nishina points out that none of them have ever properly told Kei how they actually feel about her. Kei walks away after saying that they are free to confess from his side and he will take action now because he likes her. The boys realize that they just helped another competitor by helping him realize his true feelings, and they decide that they all need to stop him from doing anything. The next day, Nishina asks Kei to help her prepare for an upcoming event and she agrees to do it. She almost texts Mutsumi that she won't be coming to the history club for some time, but Shinomiya stops her and says that he will let Mutsumi know as he is going to the history club anyways. Nishina tries to take her away, but Igarashi tags along and points out that he won't let Nishina get alone time with Kei either. They go to her office where Kei goes to the restroom and the other two quickly contact Nana, who had a meeting with Takuro, and Nana informs them that he convinced Takuro to keep Kei away from Mutsumi. Nishina quickly blocks Mutsumi's number from Kei's phone, and Mutsumi on the other hand, wonders why Kei is not picking up his calls. He asks Shinomiya what he is doing at the history club today and Shinomiya pretends that he is interested in Japanese history. A few days go by like this as the group continues to keep Mutsumi away from Kei, and Nana reveals that Mutsumi tried to send a doll to Kei with "I love you" written on it, but Takuro intercepted it. They wonder how long they will be able to stop him like this and they hope that he gives up soon. Meanwhile, Shinomiya follows Mutsumi into the washroom, but he escapes from the window, so Shinomiya quickly calls the rest of the group for backup. Mutsumi suddenly starts talking on the school intercom and asks Kei to meet him at the rooftop after school. The group heads to the broadcasting room and Mutsumi asks them why they are trying so hard to stop him even though they are all free to tell her how they feel. He tells them to come to the rooftop if they want to confess their feelings too, and the boys start wondering about what they should do. After a while, Kei goes to the rooftop and finds that the whole group is already there. They all confess their feelings one after another and ask her out, which leaves her speechless. After a while, she goes to Amain and tells her about how they all confessed. Amain asks her about what she said in return, so she explains that they weren't in a rush for her answer. Kei further explains that they were all very serious about it, so she does not want to make fun of their feelings by not giving them a proper answer and wants to think deeply about every single one of them. Amain asks her what she thinks about them individually and Kei starts explaining how they would be if they were in a BL manga. Amain lashes out on her and Kei says that she never saw them in any other way, which makes Amain feel sorry for them. She wonders how she can get to know them better and she decides that she will go on a date with every single one of them to get to know them better so she can choose. She tells the group about it and explains that she will give them all a proper answer at the end of the upcoming holidays. She quickly runs away afterwards and the group realizes that the winner will be decided at the end of the holidays. After some time, she goes on her first date with Igarashi to the aquarium, where Igarashi reveals that he researched everything about fishes before he came so she can ask him about anything. She also trips during the date and falls into his arms, and they end the date with a ferry ride where Igarashi tells her that she is very beautiful. Up next, she goes on a date with Nana to Usami Land, where they enjoyed multiple rides and Nana helped out a crying kid that was lost. She goes on a date with Shinomiya next to an alpaca farm where his clumsiness makes her laugh a lot and he even protects her from a charging alpaca. The next day, on her date with Nishina, she gets flown to Okinawa for a fancy dinner at Nishina's personal restaurant where the two let their love for gay things come out unrestrained. Last but not the least, she goes on a date with Mutsumi in which they explore around based on an old map. The two visit a shrine where the two also pray and Kei wishes for Cheyenne to get revived while Mutsumi wishes to spend his whole life with her. She gets flustered when she hears him say it out loud and he thanks her for helping him realize that he could like someone like this. After all the dates end, she feels even more confused about what she should do as she finds them all charming in different ways and she wonders why she didn't feel anything special for anyone. She uses her brain for a while and suddenly her eyes light up as she finally realizes who she has special feelings for. The next day, the whole group gathers again to hear her answer and Kei arrives at the rooftop. She announces that she has finally found her special person and she suddenly shows them that it's Cheyenne from Mirage Saga before revealing that they will be airing a new season of it soon. She explains that the trailer had a silhouette in it which is most likely Cheyenne who will get revived and she starts yapping about Mirage Saga. Her crazy talk does not stop while the group remains speechless at what is happening to them and she quickly runs off after giving her speech about Mirage Saga. They run after her after realizing that they did not get an answer, but will they ever get an answer or will they continue to chase after her while she tries to pair them together? Comment your thoughts below and make sure to like and subscribe the channel for more anime recaps.